Hey, folks, welcome to Weekend Technical Analysis Update by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. This Weekend Technical Analysis Update is for Monday, January 31st through Friday, February 4th, 2011. Well, folks, let's get into the charts. You're looking at last week. This is Monday right here, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Friday was the big day down. Again, massive things going on globally, and that's what I want to focus on here at the beginning of this video. All right, so again, the market kind of floated higher throughout the first 4 days of the week, and that's key technically because you have to note the volume. Volume is actually a technical indicator here. As you can see, the volume was just so light the first 4 days, which again, if you have listened to any of our videos, you know light volume equals neutral to upside bias. As soon as heavy volume comes in, the market will sell. Why? Because no one's left buying. Institutions are not buying anymore. The market is floating up on minor black box trading programs, some amateur buying, some rotation of mutual funds. That's what the market floats up on. All right, but when you get major volume, it's because institutions, which make up 90% of the daily volume in this market, are coming out and selling. So again, massive volume on Friday, almost 300 million when all was said and done, about 295 million, and the markets ended down huge on Friday. We saw the Dow down 166 points, NASDAQ down a huge 68 or 2.5%, and the S&P 500 down 23 points or 1.8%. Now again, notice Monday up and kind of came in a little bit, but still ended up on the day. Tuesday was choppy, but a big buy program going into the State of the Union address, and we called that perfectly, by the way. We said, listen, they're not going to let this market sell off on Tuesday. The market was down pretty drastically going into the 3 o'clock time frame. A buy program hit, lifted the markets all the way up to the flat line going into that State of the Union address by President Obama. Wednesday, again, we were waiting on the Fed. The Fed, again, propped it up, keeping it up on Wednesday. Thursday, a little choppy, but ended higher. And then Friday, again, the collapse. Now, the key on Friday, folks, you have to understand what's going on here, what the effects are, what could be the long-term effects, what are we going to see this coming week. Now, Friday, again, we saw the massive selling, number one, because of the instability in Egypt and around the Middle East and in Northern Africa. All that's going on right now. That is very bullish for the dollar, because when there's instability in the global markets, the dollar, the US dollar, is still the key kind of safety net of the average trader or currency trader. So again, people go to the dollar for safety. I know it sounds strange considering how much money is being printed, but when there's instability all over the world, people still rush to the dollar. So that was the biggest problem that began the sell-off on Friday. The dollar opened flat to higher and started to move higher right from the get-go. All right, so again, you opened a little bit higher and you just went straight up on the dollar. That puts pressure on the markets. Remember, the markets work inverse to the dollar. And if I show you the intraday UUP chart here, and we can zoom in a little bit, let's take a look here. All right, so if you zoom in, you can see right from the get-go, you had a minor pullback in the dollar, and then the dollar took off to the upside. And again, look at the SPY here on an intraday basis. Here's Friday, right? Initially, we moved up. That's as the dollar was pulling back just a little bit, and then once the dollar took off, the market started their collapse. And this just continued to kind of spiral out of control on Friday. And this is key because you have to realize the markets are at such a pricey level at these levels that, as long as light volume is there, they can keep the market up. But as soon as light volume subsides and heavy volume comes in, there is no way it's going to hold up. There just is no way. All right, so again, the issues, the rioting in Egypt especially, the instability in the Middle East, we obviously know that's huge for oil. Oil went higher, even though the dollar was higher, which usually works to keep oil down or make oil go lower. In this case, it was the opposite because instability means that oil prices, maybe the disruption in routes or drilling, or you never know. But anything in the Middle East like this, just like if Iran was something was going to happen there, you always see oil pop. Same thing occurs here. So oil popped up dramatically. The markets continued to sell. Gold was also up dramatically. And again, why would you think gold was up? Because fear is out there. As soon as fear comes out, people rush to gold. People rush to the dollar. And those two things go higher on fear, and that's exactly what happened. So the markets continued to sell off. In addition, there were earnings from the likes of Ford Motor Company. Look at this drop on Friday, folks. Unbelievable drop on Ford Motor Company, trading down $2.52 by the close. A huge sell-off there. All right, so Ford Motor Company, Chevron had earnings. Chevron earnings were good, but they missed on revenue. That stock was down $1.38, big drop there. You also had earnings from Amazon. Amazon on Thursday after the bell, which reacted on Friday. Here's Friday on Amazon, down $13.31. So again, you had a lot of little pieces of the puzzle, including a large portion of it, the rioting and instability in the global picture, especially in the Middle East, going on, and that all added to the panic that ensued, and the market sold off. So the question is now, what are we going to see in the coming days? I mean, where is this market going? Well, First of all, you have to be watching the news. This is a time to be watching the news. If you're a trader, you have to be fully aware. All right, next week I do believe that China is closed for a portion of the week, at least I think from Tuesday through Friday of next week, if I'm correct, or Wednesday through Friday of next week for the new year. That will be interesting as well to see if that's any implication. It probably doesn't have much implication on the rioting, obviously, so that may be a non-event. But usually it would keep the U.S. markets a little bit more quiet. But the other key here has to be looked at as again, what's going on in Egypt? Have things gotten better by Monday or worse by Monday? If things get worse, this market's going lower, folks, because oil will go higher, the dollar will go higher, and those will both pressure the markets again if oil really starts to spike up. Now, usually oil's good when it goes up, but not in this scenario. All right, in this scenario, if you're seeing oil go up, it's because there could be some major issues over there. My thought process is if oil's up $3 or more tomorrow and nat gas opens flat, buy nat gas. That's got to be my thought process. Because if oil continues to skyrocket, you got to figure natural gas will get a bid eventually as an alternate use or possibility if things continue to deteriorate in Egypt and things just go crazy in that area or that region of the world. So that's my first thought process, all right? But again, watch the news overnight. That's going to be key. Keep an eye on the dollar overnight. Once the futures open at 6 o'clock tonight on Sunday, that's when you want to be focusing in on what's going on there. All right, it'll give you a good sense. Now, there are going to be some key stocks at certain levels. I mean, for instance, Ford Motor Company, I'm definitely eyeing if it comes down a little bit more. Right now, it went right to gap fill, and this is very, very key. Notice the low on Friday was at this gap fill right here. If it gets down to here, I do like it as well. This is a good little support area at approximately, let's see, 1560. And then if you get past that, this would be a great area, an absolutely fantastic area at gap fill at 1520. There's another gap right here at 1520. These are all levels for bounces intraday. I would say this one right down here would be a great swing trading play. All right, so you put that on your list, and again, look for it next week as a possibility. I do like that very much so. Other stocks to watch next week. Obviously, Amazon. If Amazon AMZN starts to sell off a little bit more, I have a little pivot low down here. I don't think it's going to get there unless we really sell sharply on the markets next week. But just watch that. This would be your big level down here at approximately 157 to 158. Okay. Now, I think the big question is, what are we going to see in terms of, are we going to see a massive sell or are we going to see a return to light volume? Because as a trader, that's what I'm looking for. All right, obviously, if things quiet down in the Middle East and start to get better, that's key. If earnings come out neutral, and we're getting through a lot of the earnings season by now, we have a little bit more this week, that's going to be important. Also, I think the important thing is to watch for Friday. This week, Friday, is the unemployment report and non-farm payrolls. Are we going to see a good non-farm payrolls number? Or are we going to see a bad non-farm payrolls number? The market will watch for that number very, very closely. I think in January, people were a little disappointed by that number. They want to see that number rebound, or they're going to really start to question a true recovery here, although I've been questioning it for some time. But, overall, the jobs are not coming back. We saw it in January's number. Now, in February's number, which is on the first Friday of every month, which will be February, I think, 4th of this week, that's what you're watching for. All right, so again, lots of economic news this week. In fact, let me just quickly go over it. Then we'll talk about a few more swing trades. But Monday, personal income and spending, PCE, and Chicago PMI. Tuesday, construction spending, ISM, truck sales, auto sales. Wednesday, MBA, mortgage purchase index, challenger job cuts, ADP, which is big, crude inventories. Thursday, productivity, unit labor cost, initial claims, continuing claims, factory orders, ISM on that day, and Friday, of course, non-farm payrolls, unemployment, average hourly work week, and hourly earnings. All right, so big week in economic news, a little less on the earnings side, but really, I hate to say it, until Friday, most of the economic news is a non-event considering what you're looking for in terms of what's going on in the global picture. What's going on in this Middle East picture here? Do we see more riots in other countries start up? Do we see a lack of riots? Maybe things start to quiet down. Maybe Mubarak in Egypt does resign and people start to be okay with that and the riots subside. All these pictures are key. Watch these stuff, guys. This is now historic in terms of what's going on in these countries, but also historic and key in terms of what the market will do. All right, if things continue to get worse there, oil is going to go up, the dollar is going to go up. If the dollar is going up, the markets will go down. All right, but there will be key levels. Let's go to the spiders and take a look at key levels. What are we looking for in terms of buying? Well, obviously, this is the Friday daily number. I really can't discuss much down here, obviously, folks, which level I'd be looking to buy it because this is more for the research center. And again, you've got to join that research center. You even have a free trial out there now you can take. So I encourage you to take the free trial. It's a no-brainer. Take that free trial. You got nothing to lose. If you love it, you stay on. If you don't, you cancel. It's that simple. But again, the money that we've been making month after month, year after year, is unparalleled out there in any service. And it's the most kind of close-knit secret group that we've created here of people that are learning the true nature of the markets and profiting from the markets, and the research center is the place to do it. If you have a few hours intraday, the chat room is the place to do it. You come join, you learn, you make money. Okay? All right, now again, let's go to the 60-minute chart here. Early tomorrow, if the markets aren't down much and they sell a little bit, I'd look for this 200 moving average to be at play. All right, this is Monday. If you get through that level, you could actually go all the way down to this here at 126-ish. 126 will be a big level of support. That also matches on the daily. Intraday, again, you can see the massive selling on Friday. If we go back and show the whole week here, you can really see overall that we had some major movement. And this is going back to the previous Friday, the gap up and come back in. And then again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's big sell-off. All right, let's talk about a few more stocks out there. Obviously, Chevron and Exxon. I believe Exxon reports Monday earnings, Monday before the bell. It's not going to be a huge market mover unless they're really bad or really, really good. If they're somewhat in line, like kind of like Chevron. Chevron was great on earnings but missed on revenue. So the stock sold off, but it wasn't a huge sell-off. It was a 1.5% sell-off, kind of in line with what the markets did. Apple Computer, keep an eye. Amazon obviously is a big player here. After earnings were pretty ugly on Thursday after the close. These are all keys. Keep an eye on the financials. Financials are big as well. And again, look for certain levels. And this is where it's going to be key, guys. This is why you need to join the research centers, because there are going to be certain levels if we continue to sell off that are going to be hit, that are going to be great 1 to 2 day swing trades where you're going to pocket money. I mean, big time money because of the nature. If the markets can sell sharply again Monday or Tuesday, it's going to set up for a big bounce, especially later in the week if things quiet down. And we're going to be watching, analyzing every night in the nightly videos. Research Center at inthemoneystocks.com includes everything listed under the Research Center. You get the videos where I give play-by-play every night, tell you everything you're looking at, tell about key plays, swing trades, hot charts, and alerts are also included. Daily market report, pro trader watches, it's all there for the taking. So again, we encourage you to at least try the free trial. It's a fantastic thing. And again, get involved, become your maker of your own destiny. I'm a believer in that, folks. You can take control. All right? And again, bottom line is, let's take a look at the dollar. I want to take a look at the dollar on the daily chart. Here's your dollar bouncing up right off of this area right here. And again, that's your dollars. You can see it fell sharply, but now getting a little bit of a bid on Friday as it was. GLD had a huge pop on Friday after it hit our general target here and pierced and then right back up. Notice that big move. And again, we nailed it right from here down. Bear flag, we called it down. Bear flag again, called it right to target. This was our target on the short and then for a bounce, as you can see. USO had a big pop on Friday. Look at the size of that pop. Where does it go? It goes right to the 50 moving average. It's a beautiful thing right there. All right? I mean, that really is an amazing thing right there. All right? So that's what we're seeing now at this point on the markets. We will continue to keep you posted. Join the Research Center. Join the Intraday Stock Chat. Let's make money next week. It's there for the taking. Talk to you soon.